Welcome to A Double
and
Dice
with your hosts Kim
and Jocelyn.
Pour your favorite beverage.
Pull up a comfy chair.
As we are ready to roll.
Welcome to episode 15 of A Double and Dice, and today we're going to talk about Infinity Gauntlet. But before we get to that, Jocelyn, do we have something to let all our people know about?
We do. We have a couple of things we want to let all of our people know about. But first, I think what we should talk about is probably Ladies' Night.
Yes, which happened this past Saturday, August 29th.
Yeah. At the time of recording, the last Saturday in August, we held Ladies' Night, or Ladies' Afternoon, depending on your time zone. And we had been talking about this for a couple of weeks, I guess, Kim?
Yeah, a few weeks, yeah.
And the idea was, as part of our, ongoing mission, like Star Trek, to try and engage more women in playing Dice Masters. And in response to some of the feedback we'd received, we decided to hold a ladies-focused Dice Masters event. So we put the call out for women Dice Masters players to come out and play Dice Masters with us, and we set the theme of making your entire team out of lady characters. And how many people did we have, Kim?
1.
Plus us. So 3.
Plus us. 3.
Yay! So it was a success.
Yeah, so Dee came out, and if you guys probably know, we have talked about her before.
Yeah, and it was fantastic. So we just we each took turns playing, and Kim and I each played Dee, and then Kim and I played each other, and it was a good time. We played for about 2 hours. We had a good chat, and looking forward to doing it again. We did get some feedback. There was a message on our Reddit post. On the Reddit post that I put out about Ladies' Night, asking how it went. And the person, I gotta find it here. This is my name now. Said that they are hoping that it will be a regular thing going forward, that they are sorting out their spares to give to a few friends, knowing that this was there to point them to would be handy. So we are hoping and planning to do this on a somewhat regular basis with more information to follow. So keep, your eyes peeled to the DM-North Facebook page, and listening to the podcast, because we'll announce other events as they happen.
Definitely fun. So thanks, Dee, for coming out.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to play with you. It was great to hang out, and hopefully next time we'll have more. We'd love to have more of a round robin going on. That would be super cool. Or Swiss rounds, or whatever these things are called, because I don't run tournaments.
Rounds.
What?
Best of
rounds?
3. I don't know. We'll make it up as we go.
We'll figure it out. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. So it was a lot of fun, and hopefully we will do another one soon. So stay tuned for that. The other thing was that we got a present. There it is. That's our present. So after listening to our last episode, if you have not listened to episode 14, let's talk about MOD, PDM, UKGE. We were goofing around with Matt and Kim, and we were drum rolling. And our regular listener, Andy May, got in touch with me and sent us that present, which is a drum roll. So I did not know this, but Andy used to be in a band. And he has drums. So he wanted us to have an official drum roll. So there we go. So thanks, courtesy of Andy May, we have a drum roll. So thanks, Andy, for that.
That's cool. Thanks,
really
Andy.
Really excited to use it. We might start drum rolling things all the time.
I know, just to use it. Yeah, I know. I have to download this now. Just keep it in our folder so I know,
Yeah. We're going to have to build
cue in anything.
A soundboard or something. Uh-oh, now people might send us more things.
That's all right.
Or sound effects. We love presents.
We do.
So please feel free to send us sound effects that we may or may not use. But thanks, Andy, for the drum roll. Really excited about that. We'll have to use it again, maybe at the end, Kim. Maybe before we do all of our, this is where you can find us. You'll have to cue it up at that point.
All right.
Okay. Awesome. So that's Ladies' Night. That's our mailbag for today. And let's jump into talking a little bit about Infinity Gauntlet. What do you think?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about this since, what was it, 2 weeks we got our boxes late? Was it 2 weeks late? 3 weeks late?
No, I think it was like a week and a half. Or a
week and a box. Yeah.
A bit. Our box was a little bit late, and we're still waiting on some of our product to come in at the time of recording, which is the last day of August. Up here in Canada, product has been scarce, so hopefully it will arrive soon. However, we did each manage to get a display case, and we were able to open that up and play with it. And I know both of us used some Infinity Gauntlet cards in our MOD PDM UKGE teams. But we haven't really talked about the set itself. And Kim, I don't know how much you've had a chance to play with it yet.
Aside from my mod team, I think I played Black Order against you and Rob, and we played casually one night. Mm-hmm. Used that affiliation, which I thought was cool. Maybe one or two here and there in other teams for like WDA but other than that, not really fully jumped into it.
Yeah. So I know one of the things I was really excited about this set was the fact that not only is it the biggest set ever designed as far as the card count goes, but also the fact that it was really designed for drafting, right? That was the whole purpose of this set, was that it was to be drafted. And of course then 2020 happened, so in-person events have been a challenge and drafting has been a challenge. And everything I've heard from the Infinity Gauntlet in the Dice Masters community world has been around sort of meta cards, meta combos, fun combos that maybe aren't quite meta but are close and could be if you figure out how to maximize them. But what we haven't heard is anyone talking specifically about this set as a draft set. And maybe that's because not a lot of people have been able to draft it.
Yeah.
But what Rob and I did with our packs, and if you have not checked out his Twitch page and his YouTube channel, I'll plug it here. It's Dice Station Zebra. Rob's got his own channel going on. We opened our packs and then we created sealed teams. So I created 8 different teams, one out of each of the packs that I opened, as did Rob, and we played them against each other. And I found that playing it sealed was pretty cool. I was able to make a team out of just about every, like a decent team, like a draftable team out of every pack that we opened. So that was really neat. And there was a lot of different things to try and a lot of different pieces. So I've only played with some of these cards once, but it's nice to play with them. And I think there's a lot of room in the wider Dice Master scene for a lot of this stuff. And I think that one of the things you and I want to talk about is less about the competitive nature of it and more about the casual drafting / sealed / what would you pick if you opened this box today?
And what card was it you jumped for joy when you got it?
Rare Spider-Man. But it's a super cool card.
I think you should make a t-shirt and wear that proudly. Something.
That is a good idea. Maybe I will have to work on that. So what Kim and I decided to do tonight, because we are not together in person, we are recording this over the interwebs, and because getting together in person is still a bit of a challenge, but we do have a pretty cool resource here in the Dice Masters community created by Trubie, who maintains the Dice Coalition Team Builder and the Transition Zone app if you're an Android folk. And you use that particular app to manage your collection. He created the draft pack generator, which has been updated with Infinity Gauntlet and has actually been updated as well with the way Infinity Gauntlet drafts. So when draft packs were first introduced with Tomb of Annihilation, I think was the first one, and then it was Thor.
Yeah.
There were 2 basic actions, and there were 12 character action cards. In Infinity Gauntlet, there's 3 basic actions and 12 character action cards. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and if I am, please correct me, that Trubie was working on, and I don't know if it's done yet or not, the rarity distribution for Infinity Gauntlet in the draft pack generator, because with the extra super rares and the additional card, because there's 3 basic actions, he was doing something with the rarity distribution. I don't know if that's done yet, but what Kim and I did, or what I did, was I went into the draft pack generator tonight, and I did that by typing in Dice Coalition draft pack generator into Google, and it took me there, which was fantastic. I'm sure there's probably a way to navigate it if you go to the dicecoalition.com website. I didn't bother to try. I just did the Google thing. And I created 2 draft packs because it was me and Kim. And I put in, you click, create draft room. You put in your name. And then I sent the link to Kim. She put in her name. And we have 2 draft packs. So we thought what we would do is we would pick the first 2 cards that we would keep. Maybe we should do a basic action and 2 cards. What do you think, Kim?
Yeah. Okay.
So if we were building either a sealed team or if we were drafting, how we would draft this pack, based on what we pulled in the pack. So do you want to do basic action pick first, Kim?
Sure. Oh, yeah, and you can get to Trubie's draft pack by going directly to the site dp.dicecoalition.com.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, fancy. Okay,
I like it.
So, I guess I'm Ancient Surf because I can't really put a name.
You didn't put a name. Okay, so this is the cool thing I like about Trubie's draft pack generator. This is actually the second time I've ever used it. The first time was a few weeks ago, maybe longer ago than that now. Ross was away for Weekly Dice Arena, and I guess it was almost 2 months ago, because it would have been the night before Canada Day, which is July 1st. I didn't have to work the next day, so I participated in Weekly Dice Arena. And DM Armada ran it because Ross was on vacation, and he ran a draft. And when you don't put a name in, when you click on the draft room, it assigns you a room. Or assigns you a name. Sorry.
Yep.
So when I created this draft room today, I put in my own name, but before I did that, it said summer_sun. That was me. I was the summer sun. Doesn't that sound right, Kim? I'm like bright and shiny. Summer sun.
Ancient Surf.
What were you in that draft? Do you remember the one?
Oh, it was a cool name. It was a cool name, and it was an ongoing joke too for a bit.
It was. So yeah.
I forget.
I can't remember what it was. If you were at that Weekly Dice Arena and you remember what name Kim had in that WDA draft, let us know, because we were having a lot of fun with it. And you said you were going to use the name online.
You know what? If I probably go through the Discord channel, I might be able to. I would have said it in there, so. Yeah,
so maybe we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Because it's not like we did any research or thought about what we were going to talk about tonight or anything. So, Kim.
Do we ever?
Of course we do, Kim. This is a very well-recorded podcast. We do a lot of research and preparation.
Yeah, days and days before we record.
Absolutely. So, Kim, what 3 basic actions did you get in your draft pack?
So I got Villainous Pact, which is a reprint. Twice. This is the 3rd time it's been reprint, I think. I think there was a promo card of it and then a regular card of it. I think most people use it for the global, so it's pay a mask, and once per turn on your turn you can prep a die, but you have to have nothing in your use pile when you do it. Sorry, I didn't read it properly. Yeah.
Nothing in your when you use it.
Yeah. So just remember when you're doing that, make sure there's nothing there. I got True Believer, and True Believer gives your character +2/+1d until end of turn. It also has a global where you pay double mask, and once during your turn you may remove one of your character die from the field zone until end of turn, which I think was Odin Fury's global.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then Inspiring, which I don't know if that was a reprint. What's this one? Choose one of your... I actually never read this. Choose one of your character dice in the field zone with the lowest printed A showing that die... Oh, this is very hard to read, by the way. That die has its printed A replaced with the printed A on all levels of the character die in your field zone with the highest purchase cost. You choose if tied. Interesting.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yep.
Okay. You mentioned this, and it's something it's been a recurring theme. These cards are kind of hard to read. Right? The text on them. So the full art is super cool. Like, it looks really nice and everything. And the text itself is nice, but they are a little bit hard to read. So, hey, WizKids, if you're listening, I think that's something that would be worthy of looking at, especially global abilities, with them being red text on some of these white or grayish backgrounds. Definitely causes problems for people that have some color blindness or color deficiency. So this set is a little harder to read. The art is really beautiful, but the text is a little harder to read. So
yeah, so this one sounds like it's just replaces the lowest A of one of your characters with the highest A.
Well, the highest purchase cost.
Purchase cost, yeah. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So if you had to pick one of those basic actions, which one would you pick? You're in a draft.
I'll pick Villainous Pact because it's a prepping ramp.
Yep. So you would pick Villainous Pact, and that seems like a reasonable pick in a draft because it gives you a prep global, right? And then if you happen to play against someone who is not running villains and you're running villains, if you get any villains on your team, then you can use Villainous Pact as a win condition, the actual action itself.
Yeah, right? Which is your opponent chooses one non-villain character die. All other non-villain character die cannot block this turn.
Yep. So if your opponent's not running villains, then Villainous Pact itself becomes a win condition. I think that's a pretty good choice. I'd probably run Villainous Pact if that was my draft pack as well. So my draft pack had the same inspiring action that yours did. I got Investigation, which is draw and roll 2 dice. And then you place them in your reserve pool. And then my third basic action is Besmirch from the Infinity Gauntlet set, which is target opposing character die loses its ability text until end of turn. And that says not including global abilities. And it has an energize ability on it. Deal target character die 1 damage. So if you don't roll the basic action to remove the ability text until end of turn, then you can energize on all 3 faces because it's double energy on all 3 faces of a basic action. But to the point of draft, if I had to pick just one of these cards, I'd probably choose Investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, similar to you, Kim, you want ramp and churn in a draft because you don't necessarily have control over your cards.
Yep.
So we're not going to go through every card in our draft pack because that is crazy. However, what I will do is I did take some screenshots of these draft packs, so we can include them potentially in our show notes or link to them in our dm-north.com article. But Kim, if you had to pick the first card that you would pick if you were drafting, what would you pick in your pack?
Well, I got a lot of high cost characters, but this Loki one sounds interesting, so maybe I'll pick the Loki one.
Okay.
So Loki is a 6 cost, and okay, you're gonna have to forgive me when I read this because again, it's hard to see it. But so when he's fielded, I choose an opposing character card, replacing all previous choices. While Loki is active, when your opponent fields a character die from that card, Loki deals it 3 damage. And that's a rare card.
Cool.
So I would actually choose that one just based on what my other options are.
So that's the card you would pick if you had to pass the pack.
Yes.
Okay. So I use the draft pack generator to build these teams. I just hit Infinity Gauntlet, 2 draft packs, create, right? My pack has rare Spider-Man in it.
Wait for it. Oh, we should have done it before.
We'll do it again, okay? Do it.
Okay. Ready? Wait.
Ready.
And here we go.
Rare Spider-Man Public Menace. So, like, I've been talking about this card since Memphis, like since last September. It's been almost a year that I've been talking about this card. I pulled it in my draft pack when it came out in August. I played it in the Ministry of Dice's MOD PDM UKGE event. And then I generate a random draft pack. And what is in that is Rare Spider-Man Public Menace. So I have to pick that card. Because I've been talking about it for a year and I heard it. When Spider-Man attacks, spin target character die to an energy face of your choice. So I would have to pick that one. But I feel sort of bad picking that one because I've been talking about it forever, and what are the chances that I generate a draft pack and that's what's in it? So, I mean, it's a 4-cost. It's a 4-cost fist. It's a very achievable draft pick. You definitely are going to be able to buy it. It's got a very good effect, and I drafted it in Memphis, which is how I learned about it. So definitely I would pick that if this was my pack and I had to pass it. However, if that card was not in this pack, then probably what I would pick is I have a 4-cost Bolt Turk Barrett Small Time Crook, and it's a common. And it's as energize, you may deal 2 damage to target character die. And I'd probably pick that out of this pack if I didn't have the rare Spider-Man. Because, again, 4-cost is achievable to get in draft, and it gives you potentially a little bit of removal. And all you have to do is roll it on a double energy face, which is probably going to happen. So if I didn't have rare Spider-Man in the pack, then I would pick Turk Barrett.
Okay, cool.
If you had to pick a second card out of your pack, Kim, what would you pick?
Now, this is tough because I don't really like the abilities of some of these. Proxima is a good one because when she's fielded, you can KO a character die to reduce the purchase costs of your purchase by 2. So that could be a good way to get Loki for 4. Mm-hmm. If I was thinking that. I got a couple regenerate characters that are just regenerate, but one's a 5, one's a 3 cost. So really, what am I going to be pushing with that? Rush character, Wong. Spot's an interesting one. He's an energize and target can't block this turn.
I used that in one of my games against Rob to great effect.
Yeah, so I think I used that once in a WDA when I didn't have my stuff yet, so it was handwritten. I was trying to do something, it's another one to not make it get blocked. So I like that card. So I'm leaning towards either that one or Proxima, but just based on 6 costs, if I'm going to try to get Loki out, I would probably go Proxima.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because 6 cost is pretty high.
How much does the Proxima Midnight's die cost?
It's 3.
Yeah, so that's a good draft pick, right?
Yeah.
So, there's different ways to draft, and Dice Masters United just did an episode, their most recent episode, at the time we recorded this, so it came out the same day as our episode 14. They talked about drafting, just drafting in general as a format, and how to draft and things like that. There's a couple of different ways you can draft. I'm not going to go into all of it. You can check out their episode if you want to. But there's the what is it? It's RYSE format. You heard of that?
RYSE?
Yeah, red, yellow, shiny, everything else. So
Yeah.
that's stripe drafting. So red stripes are super rares, yellow stripes are rares, shiny for foils, and then everything else. So that's one way you can draft.
That's how I draft.
You can draft from a collection point of view, like I don't have this card and I want it, so that's a way you can draft. Or you can draft for the team, like to actually build the team that you want, which is something that you could do as well. So yeah. And the draft packs, I mean, Infinity Gauntlet, having played Sealed against Rob, I found a lot of the draft packs that I opened had some synergies in them. So like, you might have a couple of Black Orders and you can do something with that. The Black Order has a lot of synergy with it. When fielded, do this. Like you said, KO target character die to purchase the next die for 2 less. Or one of the other Proxima Midnights, I think, gives you +2A and Overcrush on a different Black Order die when you field it. So there's a couple of different things. There's some good synergies there, and I found that in the packs. But I think a good way, if you're looking to draft and you're looking to do Sealed and you're looking for a good win condition, look for cheap dice with good stats. There's a 3-cost Ms. Marvel in this set. She has no ability, but on her top level, she's a 1/6/6. So 1 to field, 6 attack, 6 defense. So that's pretty good, especially in draft when a lot of the times you're just going to be, fighting dice, right? Like we used to. There's not so much with the abilities and synergies because you can't necessarily turn everything on. But with that said, I think this set has done a pretty good job of that. And there's, like I just talked about the Turk Barrett, right? So you roll that on a double energy face and you get to deal damage to a character die. That's removal, right? It's removal or it's reduction and it's potential removal. And that's pretty good in a draft set. So yeah, that's the card I would pick if I didn't have Rare Spider-Man in my pack.
I found there's a lot of regenerate characters in here too, like in this set.
Yeah, and there's some Overcrush and
Rush, a new keyword.
Yeah, new keyword Rush, new keyword Recruit. I'm not as sold on Recruit.
And what does Recruit do?
So Recruit is when that character die deals damage to an opponent, then you get to do whatever the Recruit effect is. And if you haven't seen much about that, we would recommend you head over to youtube.com/DicemastersNorth and check out our Keyword Corner videos, where we have a great Keyword Corner video on Recruit and how Recruit works. So typically Recruit means when that die deals combat damage to your opponent, you get to bring another die in based on the trigger. So if it might say an affiliation, it might say an energy type, and you can bring that die in from your use pile, your prep area, or your reserve pool. So anywhere on your mat. Essentially, if you have that die anywhere else on the mat, you'll be able to bring it in at level 1 at the end of your turn.
So that's interesting because I have Moon Knight here, who has a Recruit, and all he has next to his Recruit keyword is the Infinity symbol.
Infinity Watch?
Yeah.
So he would.
What the heck do you do?
He would. So when Moon Knight deals combat damage to an opponent, you get to bring in any Infinity Watch character from anywhere on your mat.
Ah, okay.
So like Turk Barrett is Infinity Watch. 2 of the 3 Black Widows are Infinity Watch. One's an Avenger. Turk Barrett's the only Infinity Watch that I have in my pack, so that's what I have in front of me. So, yeah. So there's cool stuff in draft. They put some cool mechanics in here. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play. And if you haven't had a chance to play with it and, just been focused on the meta and what's competitive, I'd encourage you to pull out your cards and check that out. I'm also going to recommend, if you head over to YouTube, you can check out the Ministry of Dice. Chris Williams over there just did a great YouTube video on team building with a small collection. And he talks a lot about, how he sort of became a better team builder. And this is relevant because I think it helps with the drafting conversation, because the more you play with these cards, the better you get at it, and the more synergies you'll find if you're playing with all kinds of different cards, or you're focusing on a team and trying to make a team better. And that was a really great video that Chris put together, and I'd strongly encourage you to go check out that Ministry of Dice video on YouTube called Team Building with a Small Collection. Cool. And you could call a draft pack a small collection.
Yeah.
Because there's 12 characters and you're only allowed to have 8. So you can swap them in and out and see if you can find some synergies. Okay, it's a stretch.
Wasn't synergy a keyword? Or no?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
I thought I saw synergy, something written on a Dice Masters card, but that's probably what's it.
I don't think so. Should we go to the Dice Coalition Team Builder and find out?
While you're doing that, guess what I found out?
What did you find out?
Well, I know I have to play something. My name from the draft.
What was it?
Bitter Shape.
Bitter Shape?
Yeah, that doesn't sound as cool as it did at the date time of.
No, maybe it was one of those things where you had to be there.
Bitter Shape sounds boring now.
Yeah, it sounds kind of mean. I think you should be Ancient Surf, Kim.
Oh,
I can totally picture you, long flowing locks on a surfboard in the ocean somewhere.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Ancient Surf.
Let's see. Old.
Well, yeah, ancient. What did you think?
I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of Trubie draft packs just to get some cool names. See what it spits out at me.
Synergy was a keyword.
Ah, there you go.
So this is from the Green Arrow Flash set. That explains why I did not know what it was, because I did not play a lot with that set. Synergy abilities can be used while the character is active anytime you could use a global ability. There are 5 characters with the keyword synergy. The more you know.
There we go.
Because knowing is half the battle.
See, I was right. It was a keyword.
You were right.
I never used it, though.
And the other half is red and green lasers.
Red and green.
It's a G.I. Joe joke.
Okay.
Knowing is half the battle, and the other half is red and green lasers.
G.I. Joe. Now we need like a laser effect that goes like pew pew or something. Not the gun.
You just did a pew pew. There you go. Pew pew.
That's like more gun now.
I think we're really off track here. So maybe we should just bring it back and say we strongly encourage you, if you can get your hands on some Infinity Gauntlet cards, to give them a try. Don't just focus on the meta pieces. Play with some other stuff. See what you can come up with. Have a sealed event. If you have a pack, you could do it online where you open a pack and build a team out of it, and your opponent could do the same. Or, put your collection into Sidekick or Transition Zone. I don't know if Transition Zone has this, but Sidekick does. And I think you can do it through Dice Coalition as well. But random generate a team, right? So just random generate some cards, put them together, and see what you come up with. And that way it gives you a chance to play with some different stuff and see how the cards work together and play with some fun stuff. Because there's lots of stuff out there that's just not competitive worthy, but it's certainly fun. So we would strongly encourage you to do that.
Yes, and thank you for introducing back Regenerate for, a certain team that I like to play.
Hashtag Orbital Strike.
Hashtag Orbital Strike. Orbital Strike forever.
No, that's my keyword. Hashtag Rare Spider-Man forever.
Heart.
Heart. Always in a heart with my little bird. Okay, So, before we end today's episode, Kim, did you have anything else before we wrap up?
I do not.
Okay, so we want to do one last thing before we wrap up, and I think we need a drum roll for it, Kim. So a reminder that DM North is running a Roll for the North tournament on September 19th. It will be held at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. It is going to be full modern, no bans, and adopt a European or a UK player and send them Typhoid Mary dice, because Matt really wants Typhoid Mary as part of the meta to see what effect she might have on the meta, since we haven't had an event with her. However, if you do not have Typhoid Mary and you want to proxy, Matt has come up with a proxy plan. There's a couple of different ways to do it that he's suggested. One is to use, is it Green Arrow?
Yep. Oh, yes. No, Green Lantern.
Green Lantern is a crossover character?
Isn't it Green Lantern? I just had the article up too, which is so funny.
One of these characters, Green something.
It's Hal Jordan, isn't it? It's Hal Jordan.
Okay, so there is a die from the Green Arrow Flash set. It does not have the same stats, but it has the same energy type, Bolt Mask. So you could use that die. You also have a way we can use Shriek to represent Typhoid Mary. Or if you have Typhoid Mary dice, you can use Typhoid Mary so that you can use the rare Typhoid Mary in this tournament. What's she called? Red Rubber Boots?
Which one? Oh, yeah. Red Rubber Boots. Red Rubber Boots. And it is Hal Jordan.
It is Hal Jordan. Okay, so there we go. After 18 different versions we got there. So Hal Jordan from the Green Arrow Flash set?
Yes.
Has the same energy type as Typhoid Mary, although different stats. The tricky part about using the Hal Jordan or the Shriek die for this is that the stats don't match. So you'll have to make sure that you're referring to the Typhoid Mary card for your stats if you're going to proxy that. Proxies are encouraged for Infinity Gauntlet, especially because people don't necessarily have access to it because of supply issues. And we hope that you will be able to come out and join us in our Roll for the North tournament. You can find all the information about that on our website, dm-north.com, where we have a Roll for the North page with all the information that's going to be updated there. There's also a channel on the Dice Masters online Discord that talks about it. Mm-hmm. Roll for the North, you can find that in the online tournament section of Dice Masters Online for more information on that tournament coming up on September 19th. You need to sign up on Challenge, and you'll be reporting your teams or submitting your teams through the Dice Masters Online Discord, and that's where the tournament will be organized the day of. So hope that you can join us for that. We've got some pretty cool prizing, some of which has been spoiled, much of it which has not yet been spoiled. So if you are interested in that, you'll want to check out all of those places and watch for future announcements. We spoiled some of it on Instagram, some of it on Facebook, and more to follow. Anything else on Roll for the North, Kim?
I think that's it. Sign up now.
Okay. So, this episode has been a little bit off kilter, but we hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, we would love to hear. And if you did not enjoy it because it was off kilter, we'd love to hear that too. So please send us some feedback. You can reach us at our website, dm-north.com. You can send us an email at dm-north.com. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram at Dice Masters North. We are on YouTube at Dice Masters North, and you can also find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Dice Masters North. So until next time, on a double on dice.